You ready? But the call this meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Director Cooper. Here. Director Culliver.
Here, man.
Director Hazowski. Here. Director Myers. Director Roberts. Here. Director Spriggs. Here.
Thank you. Can everyone please rise to the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can everyone please remain standing for a moment of silence? I also want to ask really fast. A lot of people got a lot going on today, nowadays, and whatnot. Just come prepared for the person to the right and to the left, please. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to tonight's legislative voting meeting. Sorry for the delay in our start. We met in executive session to discuss some personnel items um, and other issues like that. Any public comment related to the agenda items? None heard. Reports and presentations. I'd like to ask Ms. Adria Davis, the principal, junior and senior high school students for the month, September to December 2024. I had to think about it and say that.
The great Mr. Hurley to kind of go over what is and why the president started this year. Yeah, proud.
Hang on.
Nowadays. Okay. So how we're doing Student of the Month is we're selecting a student from each grade, 7 through 12, each month, and celebrating that student by they get their picture hung in the hallway. 9 through 12 are on the second floor, 7, 8 are on the third floor, so all their classmates can see them. And they get a certificate. They also get to have a lunch with the superintendent and any one else that can attend that. So those lunches have been going on. They're very good for the students, I think, and good for the superintendent too, to get some insight from our kids. The students are selected by not just the teachers, but by the entire staff in the building. So custodians, secretaries, principals can also nominate a student for that month in each grade. And so then we just, Nicole, the other school counselor, and I kind of tabulate the scores, and then the student that got the most votes that month is the recipient of that. And some of the criteria that we use are academic effort, working on their classes, character, behavior, social relationships, being a leader, helping their peers, attendance, good citizenship, community involvement, and personal development. Some students that have made a major change from one year to the next have also been nominated, and we want to recognize that improvement. So tonight we want to recognize the students every month.
Mhm.
We're just a little bit behind, so we kind of had a big group tonight, but we'll get this spaced out. And weather and the being off kind of threw it off a little bit too. But Ms. Davis has the names, and some of the students are here tonight also.
So, like Herzing said, this is something that we want to do every month. This meeting, we have quite a few names. We're going to start from September because this is the first time that we're doing it. But next month, we want to recognize those students that were selected for January. I also want to add that it's not so much about the year to year growth and evolution of our young people, but even from month to month. So to meet these students in September and to see them now. So like you said, anyone can nominate. And so it's just refreshing to be present and see who they are becoming and that people in their space recognize such. So September kicked off with our first recipients. I'm going to go in order from 7th to 12th grade. So Lamont Powell, and I'm surprised because I said something to these kids, make sure they was going to be here. But Lamont Powell was our first 7th grade recipient. DeLon Harris, 8th. Marcus Johnson, Matt Harsh, Jaya Ellerby, and Danielle Clayton was our senior for the first month. In October, Marcus Simmons was our 7th grader. Jayana Johnson, Aiden Lewis, Kelsey Orlada, Casey Nagel, and then Cesar Rockwell was our senior. And he wasn't here, but he wanted to finish the game, so he rolled out. In November, Lamaya Porter, Brennan Daly, Zion Archie, Cameron Sloan, who is here. Thank you, Cameron. Cameron Sloan is a 10th grader this year. Brooklyn Sykes and Eric Lukaszowicz. That was for the month of November. Our December recipients were Ariel Dobbins, Dianelle Garcia Maceda, Garreton Sircone. I thought I'd seen him. Hillary Chinchilla Munoz, Destiny Robinson, and our senior, Sahara Owens. And we are currently in the process of looking forward to who will be selected for January. Yes. And I want to take the time to shout out Mr. Herzing and Miss Reed because this was their idea, and they really have been holding strong to such. So even though December was short, January went fast, like you blinked, and where did January go? They have been very consistent with sending out the reminders and holding our staff accountable because we do want to honor our students and know that we are proud of them.
Thank you. We're looking forward to this every month. We're looking forward to this. Congratulations.
Well done.
Up next, we're gonna have Mr. Stephen Ramirez come up from PFM for a quick second. How you doing, Mr. Ramirez?
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, Mr. Ramirez, about this one really fast, before we have you present, we did have some questions just about the report. First and foremost, thank you for putting it together. Whenever we were looking at this whole plan, before we make this public right now, we're just kind of asking for a few quick updates. So when we first went through with this plan, we wanted like a little more data, a little more research, so we can make, a more informed decision, later on down the road.
Certainly.
We were asking about, was on this right here. I don't think I went on purpose, but on this, it does mention a lot of, I'll just say, quote unquote, cons about why we can't do it. But when we met about this before, we talked about the pros, or the cons and the pros, and everything in between. We also talked about getting the admin's input as well from every building. We talked about stakeholders. We talked about putting information out to the community so they can actually provide input and see what they think. We talked about, holding a town hall. So I bring that up right now to say that before you, I don't want to waste your time, obviously, but before you present this tonight and make it public, can we please just get some more information in a more detailed report so we can make, a very informed decision, like later on down the road. You know what I mean? Before it becomes public tonight, people hear it, and then, we can never walk it back.
Certainly. No, and I understand. And I think I understand where you're coming from, and I think what we've been asked to do is complete and review and to analyze this proposed configuration based on an operational and financial perspective. We can definitely lean into more community feedback and other areas of interest, and we're happy to dig into other areas, and I'm happy to do that with our team.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
to everyone's kind of point, right? The folks that are here now, really weren't in the seat, right? Whenever what I mean, you came in to do this, the whole report and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we would like to kind of just sit down a little bit, give some more feedback about what we're actually looking for, so we can have like a more detailed report, just a more informed report, so they can make just an informed decision going down the road. Based off your report is good. We already have questions, already lined up, ready to go. But we would like to have, more questions. Again, more community output, more community input in general. So before you present tonight, we would like to, or in general, we would like to have, a more detailed report done. That way, we can be, presented with a more in detailed report, and then have a more in-depth briefing, to the community and to the public. Does that make sense, sir?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you have those questions written, we can take them back, and my team and I, we can definitely we can spend time on addressing them specifically and digging into them, and any areas that you think will also help you all be informed and make the best decision. And that's all we're trying to present here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, and thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. We'll definitely be getting with you all from district, and you all, Dr. Sofo, Mr. Hauser, Dr. Rabel, we'll all be reaching out and trying to talk to you all, and kind of, get some more input. That way we can,
Yeah.
Bring it back, and again, make it known to the entire community as a whole.
Certainly. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate you being on here. I apologize for wasting your time, sir, but
No,
thank
not
you.
at all.
Really, thank you. All right. With that being said, let's move on real fast to Dr. Sofo. He went to just the board recognition month.
So we had a. This one, am I on? Yeah. Just want to be clear. So, President Cameron, you're suggesting that we don't go through the slide presentation
Yes,
of the
sir.
report tonight?
Yes, sir. Correct.
All right? Because you're saying that you want to collect more information from other areas, whether community or otherwise.
Yes, sir. Before it goes out to the public. And
All right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we had scheduled to have the report given, but if that's the wish of the board, since you asked for the report, if you want it held until we add some more dimensions to it, am I getting that right?
correct. Yes, sir.
Am I getting that right? Then we can go back to PFM with, and it would help
For
tremendously
sure.
if you could give us your questions, concerns, or other sources of data you want us to explore, so that we make sure that when we come back and give the report in a public setting,
Of course.
it has those features and data sources included.
Yes, sir. For sure.
Okay, because as a district, you all need this. You all need this. And I
Yes.
understand
Yes.
if you believe that there were some stones that we didn't uncover or explore. But that being said, you did ask for it. We're trying to meet that need. And given what you saw in the initial written report, you're saying it's missing some things.
Yes, sir.
So we want to make sure that if we're going to add to it an addendum or update it, that when we do that, that we have everything we need
100%.
and everybody's comfortable seeing the total picture.
100%.
Okay? So Steve, are we okay with that?
Yeah, sounds great. And we can set up a meeting in the coming days to make sure that we're on the right path, and kind of chart a perhaps timeline on turning it around in a timely manner, so that you're able to make a decision and act on it or not, depending on what's best for the district, for you all.
Yes,
for the
sir.
students.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the board, I'm going to give you some homework. I need whatever questions you have by no later than next Tuesday. Okay? And you can send me an email, you can text me, whatever works. I don't want to make it onerous, but we do need something in writing so we have a record, and both that we've heard and that we can share with our PFM team to make sure that report is on track. Okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you, team. Look forward to hear from you all.
Yeah.
Thank
We'll
you,
be in
sir.
touch soon. Thank you.
Want to just keep it back with you. What you said, board recognition month. With
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, parents are probably the longest lasting lifetime job, right? And then there's school board. You get paid a lot of money for this job. All right,
Don't say that.
all right.
They're gonna believe it. Don't
No,
say that.
no, straight up. It's a volunteer job for citizens who care about kids in their schools that's unpaid and takes a lot of time. Because people see, well, you just come to a board meeting, right? And maybe you come to a couple committee meetings. But what I've heard from all of you, every day that you're out in the community, you are both representing the school district, but you are also the ears and eyes, and you receive a lot of feedback. And that takes time. And sometimes that also is work that you didn't sign up for. So we appreciate your service. Sometimes it's predictable, sometimes it's unpredictable. And I wish the state of Pennsylvania would support you more because one of the top three things a society does is educate its children. And we really appreciate what you're giving from your heart as well as your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next, I'm gonna go into the voting portion of this meeting. Where I can take items A1 through F1. A1 through F1. Whenever ready, can I have a motion? Can I have a second?
Director Culver,
Yes.
Director Zowski, Director Myers, Director Roberts, Director Spriggs, Director Cooper. That's 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you. Can I take items G1 through 4? I have a motion when ready. G1 through G4. Have a second.
Director Roberts? Yes. Director Spriggs? Director Cooper? Director Culver?
Yes.
Director Zowski? Director Myers? 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you, man. Can we take item IB1 through ID1? IB1 through ID1. I didn't. Can't have a motion. Got a second.
Director Myers? Director Roberts? Director Spriggs? Director Cooper? Director Culver?
Yes.
Director Zowski? 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you. Before we vote on ID2, Commander Mr. Hauser is going to be talking about donation to initially fund the Viking Pride Teen Talent Program. If you don't mind, sir, just talk a little bit about what Pride is. It's a little bit new to some folks, and with the background and the whole nine, sir.
Thank you, sir. I want to take a few moments and talk about something called the Viking Pride in School Performance Awards. Viking Pride is something that is real here in Sto-Rox. We see it in what our kids do. We just saw it a little bit earlier with the recognition of Students of the Month. And it's seen a lot of times across the district there's actually something called the Challenge Program where an outside agency comes in and will recognize a handful of students for doing better academically, attendance-wise, and those kinds of things. I often think, what about the rest of the students? What about the entire student body? And so the idea of recognizing more students and then giving them reasons to want to be recognized, this idea of Viking pride always comes home. And pride, I made an acronym called People Rising in Determined Effort. Again, pride, people rising in determined effort. Isn't that what we want our students to do? So that is the theme of this performance awards program. We're going to put up a total of $10,000 as an incentive for students to meet 8 standards. And those 8 standards are academic standards. Board members, you'll have something on the back of the sheet that you have. The first standard is academics. We really want students to do their best academically. What school, what parent, what teacher doesn't want that? We need students to come to school so that they can be taught, so that they can learn, so that they can be prepared. So attendance is the second standard. The third standard is conduct. We want kids to become more conscious of their conduct and more conscious of their conduct so that it's more proper, much better, more appropriate for being young people and more appropriate for being in the school setting. We want students to become engaged in their school, engaged in their high school. All too often, too many kids in these modern times, they're willing to maybe sit at home and be on their computers or on their cell phones. Well, it's just important for that social engagement. What am I doing as a member of my school, as a member of my high school to contribute, to be involved with my classmates, to be involved with the adults who would become sponsors. So the fourth standard is to become more involved in your school. The motto that I used when I was principal of Moon High School was, don't hate, participate. Because you have students who always complain about, oh, there's nothing to do. Well, if you participate, you automatically have things to do with your fellow students, with your teachers. And that's why we all gather in these walls under this roof weekly. The fifth standard is community engagement. We all live in this community. Well, some of us don't live here, but we all work here and or live here. What are we doing as adults to help kids become engaged in their community? What kind of volunteer opportunities? I mean, even if I go next door and sweep my neighbor's sidewalk, okay, I'm giving away my age now because that's what we used to do when we were kids. But wouldn't it be great if kids found ways to really volunteer in their communities, giving back, and making their communities places where people were happy to see them, where they felt like they were welcome. So this engagement piece is something that we're going to encourage businesses and families and organizations to invite kids in to participate and just contribute to making the community a better place. The sixth standard is personal development. We often don't think about personal development until we're in like our 30s or 40s. My goodness, that's way too late to really think about your mental health, your social health, your physical health. So personal development. You can read a book. You can watch a TikTok. You can do a seminar. You can go to a movie. You can go to a concert. But doing something that helps you to understand yourself better through and through, inside and out, so that you can live a richer, not necessarily just monetarily richer, but a mentally, emotionally richer life, and to be healthy in doing that. So that sixth standard is personal development. We want kids to really begin to think about that in their teens, as opposed to waiting until they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, or even further. Seventh standard, healthy lifestyle. What you do in your teens really has an effect upon your later years. Are you eating healthy? Are you getting the right kind of exercise, including stretching? Um, are you avoiding substances that diminish your lifespan? Those kinds of things. We want kids to at least begin to think about those things, do more of those things, so that their lives are more robust and ultimately more enjoyable. And the last standard is financial literacy. Again, why wait until you are 25, 35, 45, or never to begin to think about how to understand and better manage finances? So these are 8 standards that we're asking kids now to think about, to become engaged with, and for those students who do, there are going to be some rewards, and then we're going to make this into a team competition. Every student in grades 9 through 12 will become a member of one of 20 teams. Each of those teams will have 2 teachers as advisors. We have lots of other adults working in the building. We will have one of those adults on each of the teams too. So there will be at least 3 adults per team. They'll advise and meet with the kids, let the kids share with each other. And please excuse me, I shouldn't call them kids. I really should be calling them students or young adults. We're going to be asking them to meet every 2 weeks and really talk about how they're doing as a team. And the team that scores the most points on average are going to be in a position to win the first place prize of $5,000. And the second place prize is $2,500, third place $1,250, fourth place $750, and the fifth place $5,000. I've made a contribution tonight of $5,000 to initially fund this competition. It's a friendly competition. And what we want this to be, we want this to be an incentive for kids to really become more conscious, more caring, more conscientious, more collaborative. No, all of those really good C words that will make high school a much more enjoyable and a profitable and a fulfilling place. So you'll hear more about the 2025 Sto-Rox Senior High School Team Challenge Program, and we will hope that everyone will support it, encourage kids to know what the standards are, and if we do these kinds of things, what you'll find Sto-Rox Junior Senior High School, Sto-Rox students from grades 9 through 12, especially setting a better example for the kids in grades 7 and 8. And Sto-Rox will be on the rise. And at any time, if anybody wants to ask me any further questions about it, please feel free to at any time.
Mr. Hauser, would you mind, you can cut me off, please, if need be, but this right here, supported by Dr. Sofo, coming to the boys tonight. I'm a big fan of it. I supported it 150%. But this right here is something, beginning something bigger, right, for our community to our students, right? For those that just love from the village, I should say, to our students to show that we support, we love. Sometimes kids need that intrinsic, well, need that extrinsic motivation, right? To bring out their intrinsic motivation, right? Um, and this right here is leading up to, if I'm wrong, correct me, like I said, but the money for these kids are coming from the village, from the community, from those that love them, so it really is a part for everyone to kind of just get on board and love these kids. And Mr. Hauser, we give, all the love when we can to the staff, the admin, the whole nine. But I have to shout Mr. Hauser out because he hasn't stopped on this yet. Yeah, please. We get messages about 2 a.m., right? And we're up chatting at about 2 a.m. sometimes, right? About this because he's so passionate. And he wants this bad for our kids, right? And it's for everyone, no matter who you are, what you look like, no matter what. It's for everyone to feel loved, to feel supported, and feel like, you know what? Me too. All right. You know what? I can be appreciated as well. So thank you very much for kicking this thing off, for starting, for bringing us into the fold. Um, and there's a lot of partners from all over on board helping out with this thing, again, led by Mr. Hauser. So thank you very much, sir, again. And I appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we vote, does anyone have any questions about this?
There will be, on average, between 14 and 17 kids per team. And I really look forward to the kids competing to say, hey, listen, this week we are number one. Yes, we plan to chart and post, and you might like this feature. Talking with Mrs. Davis and Ms. Schreiber, we're talking about doing a draft
I like that. I like
like
that.
the NFL.
I like that.
And I do have a guest draft speaker. I have to make sure that he's going to be available on the date, but Roberto Clemente Jr. Has indicated that he would be more than willing to come in, participate in this activity as we kick it off.
I love it. Also, shout out to the entire staff for wanting to be a part of this as well. Again, the entire village, the whole building, the entire village. Everyone's getting on board with this. Everyone's getting behind this. And again, the leadership of Mr. Hauser, support of Dr. Sofo, the admin, the staff, and now us, right? This is going to be amazing. Really, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. With that being said, I'd like to take item ID 2 to IF 1. Can I have a motion? Have a second?
Director Roberts. Director Spriggs. Director Cooper. Director Culliver.
Yes.
Director Zowski. Director Myers. 6 yeses, motion passes.
I'm talking about. Next, under personnel management, Item 1, approve resignation of junior senior high school principal Raylan Day effective January 20th, 2025. Have a motion? Have a second?
Director Cooper? Director Culliver?
Yes.
Director Zowski? Director Myers? Director Roberts? Director Spriggs? 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you. Can I ask Ms. Interim Principal Davis to come to the podium, please? At this time, I would like to approve Asia Davis to move from interim principal of the junior and senior high school to the full-time principal as of January 21st at the rate identified. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Can I have a second?
Director Cooper? Director Culliver?
Yes.
Director Zowski? Director Myers? Director Roberts? Director Spriggs? 6 yeses, motion passes.
Congratulations, Principal Davis.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I remember it all.
Mm.
I remember it all, and I'm not gonna get emotional up here because I'm hard. No, I'm not really. I'm an emotional. Somebody sent me an email today, and I refuse to say wreck. I am an emotional masterpiece, and I am overwhelmed with purpose and joy, and it feels so right and right on time because it's been a journey and there are still ways to go, but it feels so much more purposeful and empowering when individuals feel empowered too and recognize that they are a part of a greater good and that these kids, these children, because they are not adults yet, we still have opportunity to impact and mold and shape into who they will become, that people recognize that we all have a responsibility to pour into them. And that if we do this together, it makes it that much more purposeful and impactful. And I'm extremely grateful. So thank you for seeing me fit. Shout out to my mom, trying to make her proud. Hey, Mom. That's all. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hauser. Everything that Director Culliver said, thank you for pouring into me. And shout out to Schreiber for staying in my corner and being my right hand. And I'm really looking forward to this work and this journey. And I'm going to be still.
Mm.
Thank you.
Principal Davis, before you leave that podium, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to put someone else down, to bring you up because truth be told, you don't need that. You've been killing it since day one. Every team, we do the work together, together. And shout out to you, to the Principal Schreiber, because you've been killing it as well, right? And y'all work together to do all the trials and tribulations that was been going on. Y'all stepped up and y'all ran with it. But every team, has a leader, you know what I mean? And I have to come back to you. And I'm gonna say Asia right now. You've been killing it as a leader in times to where you thought that maybe I can't, right? You know what I mean? The unknown, you know what I mean? It can be scary. You stepped up though, and your leadership is influential everywhere. You can see it. You can legit see it. You can feel it, right? And it really is a big deal when you're coming to the building or walking around and seeing kids and watching them just feel happy and feel loved, right? And truth be told, both of you were doing that. But again, your leadership, your love. I was in the classroom end of the day, one time, and over the announcements, I heard you talking about let's get lit on the weekend. I mean, it was crazy, right? But kids were actually sitting there quiet, listening to the announcements. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal in itself. You know what I mean? So I just want to tell you again, just thank you for what you've been doing, for what you've influenced, inspired your team to continue to do, and you do it with grace. Whether you know it or not, you do it with grace. You know what I mean? So really thank you for your leadership. Yes. Yes. You never stop being Asia to be Principal Davis. So that's a big deal.
Mhm. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You got a village too. The
I
students got a
know.
village. You got a village. There's a
I
lot of support
know.
around here. So make sure you lean on everyone
Yep.
whenever you need it.
Hmm. Know that I will, because I know that I cannot without a village. Not in any part of my life has there not been a village present. And so these students need to know that too.
Amen.
I want to also shout out the staff because they have definitely leaned in. And where I thought that they were like, here we go again, they have leaned in, and that is empowering too. So, on all levels, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations again, Principal Davis. I'm talking about. And then item number 3, approve the withdrawal recommendation to increase pay for employee number 503. Have a motion? Have a second?
Director Culliver,
Yes.
Director Zowski, Director Zowski, Director Myers, Director Roberts, Director Spriggs, Director Cooper. 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you.
I'd like to call Zach Simpson up. He's our new director of buildings and grounds. And oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I didn't.
I was going to get there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. No,
Sorry.
it's okay.
President
It's all right.
Culver,
Come on
go ahead.
up. You got it, sir. You got it. Nice seeing you again, sir.
You as well. You as well. Thanks, guys.
No.
So, how's it been going? Thank you. First day or two.
First day or two, it's been great. I'm getting to know the staff, got to know some of the administration. Just getting on my feet wet, working on building relationships, trying to kick this little head cold I'm fighting, but we're working on through that as well. We're setting up some meetings for next week, and try to really get things rolling, get our feet wet, and then jump in head first and get things done that need done. And I appreciate everybody's support. Everything with that. So,
Thank you. Thank you for joining our family.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'll pass it over to our solicitor for legal.
I need a motion in the matters of the following students listed by number to accept the parental waiver for a board hearing, and by doing so, thereby agree and stipulate that the students will be educated in an alternative education placement through the Allegheny Intermediate Unit. A, student number 280300, and B, student number 290072.
A motion.
Director Spriggs, Director Cooper, Director Culliver,
Yes.
Director Zowski, Director Myers, Director Roberts. 6 yeses, motion passes.
Thank you. Next, are there any committee reports for today? None heard. He has been updating the calendar. If you haven't seen it in your email, just double check one more time. He's been sending out a lot of emails recently about meetings. Any public comment? Anyone signed up? None heard. Our next meeting is going to be Thursday, February 13th, here, unless otherwise stated, at 7 p.m. With that being said, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you all coming out tonight. Can we have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Have a second? Please adjourn. Thank you.